Hi everyone, I hope you're doing super well. Today we are going to talk about perhaps the most popular of all houseplants, and that of course is the fiddle leaf fig. I have had mine for a while now, and I'm going to tell you all about it as we repot. So, my journey with this fiddle leaf fig, which I named Newton, it's one of my only plants that has a name. I have had it since 2020. It was before the pandemic. I got it in, I want to say it was like January, February of 2020. And back then, it was a little baby. It was small, and you can see pictures here. This is it when I first got it. In fact, within the first, couple of weeks that I had it, it already started growing new leaves. But then it stopped because I didn't understand it. And this is a very, very misunderstood plant. The fiddle leaf fig, which his name is Ficus lyrata, it is a finicky plant. It likes to be in one spot. And once you start seeing it grow in that spot, you should never, ever move it. If it likes it, keep it there. But there are some certain tips and tricks that I can teach you about how to make this thing grow healthy again. So what we are going to do first is I need to repot this because it has been in the same pot and the same soil since 2020. I have not been a good plant dad with this one. I really, to be honest with you, 100% honest with you folks, I really didn't care for this plant when I got it, and I didn't care for it up until really, I would say 6 months ago when I really started to appreciate it. And that was not the plant's fault. That was my fault. I just didn't understand it, nor did I take the time to actually understand it or get to know it and understand its needs and its care. So fiddle leaf figs, Ficus lyrata, they hail natively from tropical parts of Africa where they like warm temperatures and a very humid type environment. So basically, it's really difficult to kind of replicate that. But once they're in your home, they really don't actually need a ton of humidity. In fact, you can get away with like 30% humidity if need be. They do like bright indirect light like so many other plants. And it's always good to get in the habit of every couple of days rotating your plant to move it around so its different leaves get some of that bright indirect sunlight. Now, another tip with these plants to get them to really be super duper healthy is to kind of shake them around a little bit like this. Because in nature, wind will blow them around, and they're just used to that. And so they want to have that replicated. I've tried to get in a better habit of doing that. I'm still working on it. And I'm also still working on rotating this plant because even though I'm preaching it right now, I always forget to. And that's why this side of it looks much better than the other side of it. These plants, though, once they do have like that really great growing condition, once you find the perfect spot in your home, like I said, just leave it be. Don't move it. Keep it there. Just continue rotating in that one spot because they are so finicky that if they're unhappy, they will literally just start dropping their leaves. And I have had so many leaves drop. When I first got the plant, though, it was about yay high. And it is now up to here. So that's about, it's about 4 feet, 4.5 feet. And really, only within the last, I'd say, 3 months did this actually come about. It was only up to here. And then I put it underneath a grow light where I was getting some really good light. And then it just started going off, and they started watering it the way I'm supposed to. They do like to be watered frequently, and they don't like to go without their water, though they can do it. It's not like they're going to die off, but they're just not going to be happy. And of course, we want our plants to be as happy and joyous as we all are, right? You know? So indoors, this plant will get to be about 6 to 10 feet. There is a lady who lives on the first floor of my building, and she has one that is definitely 10 feet tall. And what they do is that as they get larger, these leaves will start to fall off. And because this is a tree, you'll see basically like the tree stem right there, and then some leaves up top. I'm waiting for mine to get a little bit taller before it gets to that point, but I am really excited for it to happen. You know, in nature, though, these plants these trees, I should say, plant trees, can get up to like 50 feet, which is kind of crazy. But people love these plants. They're a staple plant, and they're solid. And once you get used to them, they're really super duper easy to care for. But I can't believe I have left this in the same pot, in the same soil for 3 years now. Um, that's why it's probably been on the struggle bus outside of my lack of care for it. So we're going to give it some new soil. We're going to give it a bigger pot, and we're going to hope that it is happy. Oh my gosh, out of all the repotting, guys, I think that literally this may have been the easiest one to take out. Wow. Look at us go. All right, so this is what it looks like right there. The roots aren't as healthy as I would like, but we're going to make it bounce back. We're going to get it good, and I'm just going to start chipping away here at this soil. And I'm going to be careful because like I was telling you, this plant is so finicky that if it's upset, what it'll do is it will start dropping leaves, and I don't want it to drop any more leaves just quite yet. Now, I, in 2020, was not as educated about plants as I am now, and so literally the soil that I used in it, this soil right here, is literally just regular soil. What this plant really would like, since it's from a tropical region, is it would like something that's a little bit more well-draining. So I'm going to use kind of like a chunky aroid mix, what I use with like my philodendrons, my monsteras, my syndapsis, because that'll be better for it. And I also picked up a larger pot. I did not pick up a terracotta or a ceramic pot like that one there. I picked up a big plastic one, but I think that'll be fine because the soil, like I said, is going to be very loose and chunky. So the water, when I water it, will literally just go right through it. And so I'm not too concerned about that. Normally, I like to stick to something that, like a terracotta or like, a ceramic thing, something that'll help that soil dry out faster. But I think we'll be in good shape here. I mean, quite frankly, this plant has been to heck and back, and so I think it'll be fine. It'll be happy that it's in new soil, that's for sure. And this, boy, oh boy, I'll tell you what, I regret using just regular soil because this stuff has really just kind of piled in, and I feel bad for the plant because the last thing you want is for all of that moisture just to kind of like stick around in there because that'll cause root rot. And as I've told you folks before, and as many of you know, root rot is the #1 cause of death among our houseplants, and that just happens whenever a plant is sitting in wet soil. If it's wet, the roots there are just going to start dying off. This is really chunky though, but it is coming apart, and I'm glad that we're doing this now. And I have been meaning to do this for quite some time, but alas, I was neglectful to my plant, and I need to get better about that. So I am getting better. I had a friend over this evening. We were having dinner, and I was having him take a look at some of my plants because he's really smart at plants too. And he was telling me, because he was actually the one who helped me pot this up back in 2020. And I remember vividly being like, well, can't we just use regular soil? And he was kind of like hesitant about it, but he's like, yeah, you can. It's not the best, but you can. And I'm like, all right, I'll do it. I should have listened to him back then. But we are making changes now. When he saw the plant, he's like, you need to repot that plant. The reason why those leaves are growing in all funky and stuff like that is because that has been in the same soil with the same pot for 3 years, and it needs to be bumped up. And clearly, judging by the roots, it definitely needs that. So, yes. Okay. So now that I've got a better grasp on it, now this is starting to really come out. Let's move it on its side like so. Ever so gently. Maybe use this pot to kind of prop it up. Yeah, there we go. And boy, yeah, these roots aren't in the best shape. What you want to look for with most plants is you want to look for like nice, white, big, healthy roots. Now, as I'm feeling around in here, there are a lot of roots in there, mostly thin, but there are some really big, thick ones as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to get off as much of this soil as possible, and then I'm going to wash it down, which will hopefully get rid of even more of this soil, and then we will be able to repot. Now, another thing about ficus, whoops, ooh, I don't want to snap anything. There you go. Okay. Another big thing about the fiddle leaf fig, Ficus literata, is that it does not like cold drafts. So if you have it near, let's say, a vent or an air conditioner, it's probably not going to like that one bit. It does like warmer temperatures, but it's not like crazy warm. I mean, like household temperatures, the average household temperatures, 65 to 80 degrees is ideal for it. And like I was telling you, with the um, humidity, while it does like humidity, it doesn't necessarily need it as much indoors. But if you want your plant to be super healthy, happy, and grow big and beautiful, then look for humidity like around 45, 50%, upwards to 60, 65 if you can. That'll make it a really happy plant. Now, that is one thing that I'm able to do, is to make it happy with the humidity that I provide my plants. Granted, normally the humidity in my apartment is around 60%, but with it being July and the sun literally peering in through my windows over there, I only have western facing windows. The moment that sun starts hitting, the humidity, even though I have like 4 humidifiers going at once in my apartment, the humidity drops dramatically. I'm talking like from 55 to 60%, all the way down to 40%, because the sun just burns it up. So we are doing well here, and it looks like I've gotten a lot of the soil off. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this baby over to the sink just to wash off the rest of, whatever little soil is hanging around. And then we're going to start the repotting process and give this beautiful baby a brand new home. So I'll be right back. Okie dokie, artichokes, I am back, and I have washed off more of the soil, which is good. And you know what I also did? I also brought it into the shower and washed off its leaves, gave it a nice little bath. So I'm going to hold this because I totally forgot to put anything over here where I can just stick it in for it to hold itself up. I'm going to use some of my well-draining plant soil here, which includes soil, orchid bark, cocoa coir, activated charcoal, and lots of perlite, because perlite's really good for drainage, and so is orchid bark, as well as our old friend cocoa coir nuggets. But also what I have in there is, like I said, activated charcoal. And I've explained this to you guys in the past, that activated charcoal is really good to mix in, because what it does is that if there's any bacteria or anything like that, it'll kill it off. Since these roots aren't really as healthy as I wish they would, because somebody was a neglectful plant parent, it was me, I'm going to put some rooting hormone powder on there, so hopefully that'll help them rehabilitate, grow better, and acclimate to the new soil that it's going to get. I'm sure it's going to love the new soil, because after being in the same soil, imagine wearing the same let's say pants or underwear for 3 years. You're like, you know what? I need something different. All right, so put my base layer down in there. And now I'm going to plop this baby in. Fortunately, it does have a lot of roots. And like I said, I'm using a plastic pot this time, just because I'm using a chunky soil that'll be well draining and it'll be good for it. And so I'm not too concerned about the plastic not helping burn off the or dry out the soil as much. This pot I actually got over at Target. Target had a really good it has a very good clearance section in the downtown Denver location. If you didn't know, I live in Denver, Colorado, and so they have a really good clearance area where nobody's buying anything. And I found this pot in there, and it was only $4. So I'm like, yes, I will take this $4 pot, because how often does one run into a $4 pot? And it's big enough too, which is good, because this plant definitely needed more space, and this will give it the room that it needs to grow, to thrive, and to prosper, to give it the future that I tried to give it but failed to, because I just was lazy, I guess. or just didn't understand it. I'm so sorry, Fiddle Leaf Fig. Please forgive me, and please don't drop any more leaves. I hope it doesn't. I am looking forward to when it does fully turn into that tree mode, though, where the bottom leaves will fall off. You'll see more of the actual uh, tree stem itself, and that'll be cool because I am envious of this lady who lives on the first floor of my building, because when you walk by her unit on the street I live on, she always keeps her windows open, obviously because she wants her plants to get some really good bright light. Her fiddle leaf fig, like I was saying, is definitely about 10 feet tall, if not taller, and it is a remarkable plant, and I like it. Fiddle leaf figs, gosh, a couple of years ago, they cost so much money to get, but they've gone down in price because they've been mass produced by big plant retailers like the Costa Farms of the world and stuff like that. In fact, I was at Home Depot just the other day, and I saw a massive fiddle leaf fig that was probably about 5 foot, 6 foot tall, and the price on it was only like $40. So, and gosh, I think it was about a year ago. My senior vice president of the company I work for, she was telling me how she got a huge fiddle leaf fig like that for the same price at a Home Depot. And so I think that's awesome. I love that houseplants are becoming more affordable because a lot of these rare ones during the plant pandemic and even the not so rare ones were so expensive to buy. Okay, so aw, it actually looks the way it should have looked from when I got it if I had taken proper care of it. But I'm going to take proper care of it now and moving forward. But this is it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a nice good watering. And speaking of which, when you are watering the fiddle leaf fig, give it a good watering. Bring it over to your sink, bring it over to an area where you can water the entire thing and make sure that that water is coming out of the bottom because you want it to be a really healthy plant and you want it to get that moisture that it needs. But make sure that you do have drainage in the pot that you're using. Hey, as always, thanks so much for watching my videos. And if you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up, like it, subscribe, so you can get more fun, planty, and educational content just like this. I'll see you guys in the next video.